Why do you never see the hour hand on a clock move? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, have you ever watched a clock? A clock usually has 3 moving parts that you can see. 3 long, skinny lines that make circles around the clock. Do you know what we call those 3 skinny lines? We call them hands. Yes, the 3 hands of a clock, and they all move at different speeds. Have you ever noticed that? The hand that moves the fastest is the second hand. As in seconds, like 60 seconds in a minute. That's the skinniest hand. It does a rotation once every minute. And then the minute hand is a little thicker and it moves a little slower. It makes a rotation once every hour. And then the hour hand, the fattest hand, it moves the slowest. It makes a rotation once every 12 hours. And guess what? That makes it really hard to see it moving. But if you look at the clock and then go play for an hour and then come back, that hour hand has moved from 1 hour to the next. Does it move when you're not looking? Is it always moving? How does it work? I was thinking about this question today because I got an email from a curious kid named Aurelia. Aurelia wondered, why do you never see the hour hand on a clock move? The hour hand on a clock is always moving, even though it kind of looks like it's not. The reason you never see it move has to do with how slow it moves and how your eyes and brain notice motion. So let's talk about those 3 hands again. The second hand moves once every second. It goes around the clock once every 60 seconds. That movement is fast enough for your eyes to notice it right away. See, your brain is very good at spotting big, quick changes. And then the minute hand also moves once every second, but it moves much more slowly. It takes a full hour to go all the way around the clock. So if you stare at it for a minute or two, you might be able to see it slowly creeping forward, but it still feels pretty slow. And then the hour hand, this one is on a whole different level. It also moves every second, but the hour hand takes 12 hours to make one complete circle around the clock. That means that in 1 hour, it only moves a very little bit. In 1 minute, it moves such a teeny tiny distance that your eyes can't really detect it at all. See, obviously your eyes can see movement, but very slow, smooth motion is hard for your brain to detect. When something jumps or moves quickly, your brain says, oh, hey, that moved. But when something moves smoothly and extremely slowly, your brain can't really notice. This happens all the time in real life. You just don't notice it. Like, for example, have you ever seen your hair grow? Nope. But once every few months you get a haircut, right? Because your hair is getting longer. And your fingernails, why do they have to be clipped every once in a while? Because they're growing. But if you sat there and just watched your fingernails, it's happening so slowly you can't even see it. Isn't that so strange that something can be constantly changing, but the change is so slow that your brain can't detect it? Inside most clocks are gears, and gears are little wheels with teeth that fit together. When one gear turns, it makes another gear turn at a different speed. So one part of the clock completes a full turn every minute, another completes a full turn every hour, and another completes a full turn every 12 hours. The hour hand is connected to the slowest gears in the whole clock. So that's why you can't see the hour hand move. But if you walk away and come back, it definitely did move. And yes, if you sat there for an entire hour and stared at the clock, you would see the hour hand move. Kind of. You wouldn't notice it moving from second to second, but over time, you'd notice it was in a different spot than it was before. Isn't that all so interesting? I just think clocks are so cool. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. Which clock hand moves the fastest? That would be the second hand. And that always sounds like I'm talking about the first hand and then the second hand. But no, it's not first, second, third. It's like second, minute, hour. So it's the second hand. And how long does it take the minute hand to go all the way around the clock? It takes 1 hour. And how long does it take the hour hand to go all the way around the clock? It takes 12 hours. All right, let's play true or false. True or false? The hour hand only moves when you are not looking. That is false. It's always moving. True or false? The hour hand moves more slowly than the minute hand. That's true. Much slower. True or false? The hour hand jumps suddenly from one number to the next. No, that is not true. That is false. True or false? Gears inside a clock help control how fast each hand moves. That is true. Would you rather have a clock in your brain that always knew what time it was, or live inside of a huge clock? Well, either way, I would always know what time it was, I guess. I think I'd rather have a brain in my clock. Wait, what did I say? I would rather have a clock in my brain. Wow, a brain in a clock. Now that sounds interesting. A clock that can think. Anyways, yeah, I would rather have a clock in my... a clock in my brain. I keep getting confused. A clock in my brain. I would rather have a clock in my brain because I don't want to live inside of a huge clock. That is what I'm trying to say. All right, let's play a round of What Am I? What am I? I am in a clock. I move all the time, even when you can't tell. And I take 12 hours to go all the way around. What am I? I am the hour hand. So, now you know the secret. The hour hand is always moving. It's just moving so slowly that your eyes can't catch it in the moment. If you want to prove it's moving, you have to walk away and then come back. Look, it's in a different spot now. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got a few birthdays today. It's Jedediah's birthday. Jedediah is from Indonesia, and Jedediah is turning 5. Happy birthday, Jedediah. Thanks for listening all the way over in Indonesia. Wyatt is from Colorado, and Wyatt is turning 7. Happy birthday, Wyatt. And Kaylee is all the way in Pennsylvania. Well, that's not too far from me, but it's still a long drive. Kaylee is from Pennsylvania, and Kaylee is turning 4. Happy birthday, Kaylee. To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kids want their birthdays mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.